Max, thank you so much for joining us. We've already got 150 people watching, so I think that's 165. I think that's just going to keep going up. So thank you so much for joining us. Welcome.
Thank you, Meghann. Thank you so much. All I want is more viewers in Doug Weinstein. So as long as I can do better than my friends, that's all good. So I'm happy to be here, and I thank you for having me.
We'll see what we can do here. It's a good time, and there's big news to discuss. Where were you when you found out yesterday that Judge Glanville was being recused from the case?
We were waiting. It was kind of like a lot of silence, and none of us really knew when a decision was going to come down. I was actually on the phone with another attorney, and I was having a serious conversation, and my responses weren't making a lot of sense. So I think he could tell I was preoccupied, and then I got him off the phone, read the opinion, and I was very happy.
Yeah. I mean, that's got to be. It's a huge victory for everyone, but it also raises all sorts of questions about what's going to happen next here. Can you talk about what you plan to do this week? Is there anything we can expect to see?
If I knew, I would share. Honestly, we don't really know what's going to happen. I think it's known that the case has been reassigned in Fulton County. They call it a wheel. I think at one point there was actually a wheel, like a Wheel of Fortune. And I think there's maybe 16 Superior Court judges in Fulton County, and it just randomly assigned. Now they have a computer that does it. It was randomly reassigned to another judge. So that's really all I know as far as what's upcoming. I know that certain motions have been filed. I know that certain motions are likely to be filed in the near future. But as far as the time frame of everything, I really don't have any additional information.
Yeah, I mean, like Doug Weinstein said yesterday that he plans to request a mistrial and for bail. But then I've also heard some discussion about, the benefits. What's the best thing for the defendants? Is there a way to continue the trial? That just seems impossible to me, that the trial would continue under another judge. Do you have any thoughts on that?
We are in a very unique situation. And most of the case law out there, when you seek guidance on these issues, a lot of these issues don't come up. Like earlier in the case, this is an example. Earlier in the case, we had a juror that changed their residence and moved to another county. And we were trying to figure out, well, we understand that a juror has to be a resident of Fulton County at the time of jury selection, but what happens if a juror moves mid-trial? And then you say, well, you should be able to find a case about that. But then you think, well, most cases in the criminal arena are 1 week long. So exactly. What juror would move during the week they're having jury duty? So this case in the length creates new situations that are a little unknown. So we're going to be looking into that, but I can't imagine that there's that much case law out there regarding this type of situation, just because it's so unique in the amount of time that this case has taken.
Yeah, because it seems like, I mean, a mistrial is a benefit. I mean, the defense is the one that's always asking for a mistrial, but it also seems like, and Doug Weinstein has been upfront about this, that your end goal is an acquittal. You don't just want to have to restart the trial again. You want to get a not guilty verdict from the jury. And it seems like, just from somebody who's been watching from afar, the complex charges, like the murder charges, the RICO charges, the RICO charge, it just seems impossible to get any kind of conviction on that based on what they've presented. So because of that, is there kind of a unique interest in trying to see this continue under the current jury?
That's a great question. As far as I'm concerned, we're winning the trial. As far as I'm concerned, none of the testimony has touched us. It's touched my client, in particular, Shannon Stillwell, but it's touched anyone in any meaningful way. So you don't, there, from that perspective, you don't really want to start over. But at the same time, if something happened that is wrong, you don't want to just let it slide either. And so that's the conundrum that we're facing is, what do we want to happen? And I don't know this for a fact, but there's however many attorneys representing 6 different defendants with different, their clients may have different interests. So I don't know. I'm looking out for Mr. Stillwell. I'm still thinking everything through. And then the other additional aspect of this is, can you get me the chart? Mm-hmm. The other additional aspect of this is we feel that there's been error already baked into this case. So I'm certainly going for an acquittal, but at the same time, I don't know. And Attorney Steele said that in his motion. At this point, I don't know what convictions could stand appellate review at this point. So there's a lot of different considerations. I'll put it that way.